My wife cheated on me with her trainer and then tried to take my son by calling me unstable.
My hands
So I
trembled
recorded
slightly as I
everything.
placed the small digital recorder in the bailiff's palm. Across the room, my wife Elisa's confident smile flickered for just a moment. She didn't know what was on that device, but she could sense it was something that could shatter the careful world she had built. To understand how we ended up in that courtroom, my wife on one side, her attorney smirking, and my entire life hanging in the balance, you have to know where it all began. I'm Jason Murphy. After 8 years in the Marines, with tours that left my left ear ringing and my nights filled with shadows I never spoke of, I found peace-restoring old boats. Bradville, a quiet coastal town in Maine, became my home. Murphy's Marine Restoration was my sanctuary. Elisa came into my life during my last year of service. She was everything I wasn't: bright, polished, ambitious. When she laughed, entire rooms shifted toward her. I fell fast and hard. When she agreed to marry me, I genuinely believed the universe had finally given me a break. 4 years later, our son Tyler was born. A bright kid with his mother's intelligence and my stubbornness. For years, life felt stable, but then subtle changes crept in. Late nights at the wellness clinic where she worked, new gym clothes. A personal trainer named Colton. At first I brushed it off. Marriages evolve, people change. Then came the day everything collapsed. I came home early from a boat show to find a strange car in my driveway. Heavy bass music was thumping from upstairs, nothing like Elisa's usual playlists. I took the stairs slowly, my stomach dropping with every step. The sounds I heard from our bedroom were unmistakable. I opened the door and found my wife with Colton, the tattooed, muscle-bound trainer. She didn't react with shame, she reacted with annoyance. "Jason, you weren't supposed to be home," not an apology. Not even shock, just irritation. Colton stammered while pulling on his jeans. I stood frozen, the betrayal hitting harder than any firefight I'd ever walked into. She wrapped herself in a sheet, her eyes colder than I had ever seen them. She told me they'd been together for almost a year. She said our marriage had been dead for years. Then came the words that made my world tilt. "I want a divorce," she said. "I've already spoken to an attorney. I want the house, primary custody of Tyler, and half the boatyard." It wasn't just betrayal. It was a planned annihilation, but it got worse. She used my military service against me. In mediation, her attorney suggested I was unstable, prone to PTSD episodes, and unfit to care for Tyler. They wanted supervised visitation for me, supervised, as if I were a danger to my own son. That night, in a cheap hotel room, I called the only person I could trust, John Valentine, my best friend from the Marines. He drove up the next morning with surveillance gear and a plan. "You fight fire with fire," he said. We legally installed audio recorders in the living room and kitchen. Maine is a one-party consent state. We recorded everything. At the same time, a retired JAG officer named Samuel Levinson became my attorney. He sent me for an independent psychiatric evaluation for my PTSD. I wasn't afraid of the truth. I was afraid of losing my son because of her lies. Meanwhile, John dug deeper. He found Colton's ties to underground fighting circuits and odd cash deposits linked to the clinic, all controlled by Elisa. She wasn't just cheating. She was laundering money. Weeks later, the recorders finally captured what we needed. A conversation between Elisa and Colton confirmed everything. She was planning to falsify documents to make me look dangerous. She was laundering money for Colton's operation. She intended to take everything, and Tyler? He was just a pawn in their plans. When I heard her say my PTSD was her golden ticket, something inside me hardened into steel. We took the recording to my attorney. His expression darkened as he listened. "This ends her case," he said quietly. "Maybe her freedom." Court day arrived. For hours I listened as her attorney painted me as unstable and dangerous. Then it was our turn. "Your Honor," my attorney said, "we would like to submit a single piece of evidence." The recorder clicked. Elisa's voice filled the courtroom, cold and calculating, as she described her plan to lie to the court and hide her crimes. By the time it ended, the judge was staring at her with open disgust. The ruling was immediate. I received temporary full custody. Elisa was restricted to supervised visits. The judge referred her case to the district attorney for criminal charges. Colton fled the state that same day. Her carefully crafted world collapsed the day I uncovered the entire money laundering scheme. She accepted a plea deal, 2 years in a minimum security facility. The day before she reported, she cried and asked to see me. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I don't expect forgiveness. I'm not doing this for you," I said. "I'm doing it for Tyler." Life settled into something new, peaceful, quieter. Tyler thrived. The boatyard flourished, and slowly the nightmares faded. Sometimes life breaks you just to rebuild you stronger. The other night, Tyler and I stood on the rocky shoreline, a fire crackling between us. He asked, "Are we going to be okay, Dad?" I looked at him, my son, my reason, my anchor. "Yeah, buddy," I said. "We're going to be just fine. Thanks for watching." If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more.